So guys, it's another episode of Just Barran with your host Christian Barran, and I think I got a pretty lit episode for you guys today. And you're probably wondering why I am wearing on shades indoors. And it's not just because I have a problem with eye contact with the camera, because I don't have a problem with eye contact with the camera. Actually, I might have a small problem with eye contact with the camera. But it's really because that light there is kind of bright, right? Probably see the reflection there. The top comment from last week was from Master Barran, who is clearly not me from a different account and who has no relation to this channel whatsoever. But his or her idea was to revisit the LED mask, and I had the bright idea try to milk this topic into as much episodes as possible. And I thought that before we could learn about this, or before we could do this, we must first be able to do this. So I think we just shed some light on some LEDs, and that's this week's topic. So yeah, I think we're on like 30 subs now. So again, thanks a lot for the support. I love the feedback because just like today's topic, your comments is brightening up my day. Just a disclaimer, this video is for like more like, beginners. So if you already know a lot about LEDs, you probably might not be interested in this video. You can stay for the puns or hit that subscribe button for future videos that might help you guys a lot more. So what exactly is an LED? I might actually have a few lines wrong here. So here we have a lot of the these LEDs here. We have LEDs that are in a circular pattern. These are actually programmable, similar to the LED mask. These are 5mm LEDs. They're the most common LEDs you'll find around. You have the LED strips. These are also programmable. This is from the LED. This is something similar to the LED mask. We have square here. These are like ultra bright. This actually came out from the back of an LCD TV. So when you hear your TV's LED backlit, it's actually probably a couple of rows of these. It's an LED matrix. It's 8 by 8, I think. This is a 7-segment display, but multiple 7-segment display. But these also use LEDs. This is not an LED. So just put that away. This is a RGB LED strip. Now these have normally RGB wires, and you could select the color and the intensity based on the controller input. These are my favorite LEDs. These are RGB LED, 5mm LEDs, and these could like basically light any color of the rainbow. And I love these diffused ones. So this is actually a diffused LED, so it looks kind of dull, and this is also diffused, and this is clear, right? So right, and then you have some LEDs like this one here, which is like ultra bright, right? That. So yeah, let's test a few of these LEDs and see how they light up. So just here, blue LED on, yellow. This is one of my favorite LEDs. Let me just see if I can put them in here. So, be pretty nice LED. I know I showed you guys all the LEDs just now there. So if there's any one in particular that you like, let me know in the comment section below. And if you want me to show you examples of to use any of the LEDs I just showed you, again, also let me know in the comment section below. I would do it. Anything you put in the comment section, there's a high chance I would do it. And believe me, there's a lot of things I'm willing to do for this YouTube channel. So Christian, were LEDs always around? Well, they've actually been around for a couple of years, but they're very energy efficient, and they've gotten really cheap in the last couple of years due to manufacturing practices. So what was there before LEDs? That's a really good question, and it so happens that I got it on my shirt. Before we had candles, then we had lamps, then we had incandescent bulbs, fluorescent bulbs, and now we have LED bulbs. What just happened was I actually just broke one of the fluorescent bulbs. You know this has mercury and other chemicals in it, so you probably shouldn't breathe this in or try to snort it like cocaine. So guys, now this is the official guide to LEDs, right? Now we start a new official guide. Everything as before wasn't that was just LED actually starts for light emitting diode, right? Now this is very important because LEDs are actually diodes, right? So this is an example of a diode, right? So what this does is this actually rectifies voltage. It allows current to flow in one direction. So a diode is kind of like you have a road, and the road has a ramp and a wall, right? Now you could literally just go over and jump over and jump down like any ramp, right? But if you try to go the opposite direction, you're gonna get stopped or blocked, right? So essentially that's what a diode is, right? Let's talk about conventional current flow. So it allows current to flow this direction. If you had positive here and a negative voltage here, it gets blocked. What is a diode's favorite music band? One Direction.
What a joker.
LED is actually a diode that gives off light, right? Where you have the positive side and negative side. The positive side is called the anode, and the negative side is called the cathode. That means LEDs are polarized, which means the only way to get them to work, you have to make the right connection. Just like I am trying to do with you in this YouTube video. Aww. Important diode. The next important thing to know about LEDs, as I said, they are polarized. I drew out an LED diagram here, right? So there's a couple of ways to know the polarity of this LED, right? Well, there's technically 3 ways that I know of. If you know any other ways, let me know in the comment section below. Technically there's 4 ways, right? But let's try the first. Let's just talk about the first 3 you can know by eyesight, right? The first way is by looking at the legs. The longer leg is usually the anode, while the shorter leg is usually the cathode. Now, if you so happen to cut the legs, the next way to figure it out is by actually just looking at it against a light, right? Now, you can't really see it in this one very well, actually. I think you could, right? Now, what happened is there's a conductor on the inside of this, and the negative or cathode side is usually a lot bigger. I mean, there's a bigger conductor on the cathode side or negative side. That's the next way to determine which one of these wires here is a negative terminal, right? Now the last one, and I personally find it's the most difficult, is the base of the LED is not round, right? A flat side of the base, and that is normally connected to the cathode, or is on the side with the cathode. So how that looks here in the diagram is actually round with a little notch here, right? The last thing when you talk about LEDs is we need to use a data sheet, right? So LEDs normally have 4 important characteristics. Everything else is not important unless you're like an engineer or somebody that relies on these things for like a living or whatever, right? The 4 important characteristics is the forward current, the reverse voltage, forward current, the reverse voltage, the forward voltage, and the wavelength. So the forward current in most 5mm LEDs is usually about 30 milliamp. Now this is the maximum current in a forward flow of current that the LED can handle. That the second important thing is reverse voltage. Now the reverse voltage is what happens when you connect the LED in the wrong way. So let's say you take the positive terminal of the battery and you connect it to the negative terminal of the LED. LEDs are diodes, right? So they only allow current to flow in one direction. But that diode could break down if this voltage, this reverse voltage is too high. And most LEDs are rated at a 5 volt reverse voltage. So if you try to apply 6 volts in the reverse way, you can actually destroy your LED. The forward voltage is the potential difference across the LED, when a certain current is applied to it, right? Now, at 20 milliamps, this is usually 3 volts. The higher the current, the more the voltage. The wavelength is important because the wavelength determines the color or the true color of the LED, right? So question, how do we test if LEDs are good or bad? You know, there's a couple of ways we can do that. The easiest, in my opinion, is to just use a multimeter. So most multimeters like this one has a diode option, right? So if I put this on and I go right here, diode. Now remember what I told you, LEDs are polarized. So if we take the positive lead of the LED and we connect it to the long leg, with the negative of the short leg, the LED lights. Now what if I wanted to switch the leads? So if I put the negative on the positive lead and the positive on the negative lead, then it's not gonna light. But if we switch them around, it lights. The second way to tell is to just put it in a circuit. Now we learned from the data sheet that they work on 3 volts, right? And they will source 20 milliamps, right? This particular regulator here has a 3 volt output that we're going to use to test to see if these LEDs are good or not, right? Now remember, as I said, once the voltage is under 5 volts, you can test any circuit, because if you connect it incorrectly, it's not going to do damage to the LED. So let's put this blue into the circuit. So the blue works. We got red. I really want to test to see how robust these things are, right? Actually have a couple of LED packs there. Like what happens to them at 3 volts, what's going to happen to them at 5 volts, what's going to happen to them at 12 volts, what's going to happen to them at 110 volts, right? AC, right? So I want to see if I can blow up some of these LEDs. Oh no, I don't want to die. I nominate myself as tribute. No, sister, no. $13 milliamps. Oh, it died already. There's actually no way to know if it's blown or not, but it's blown. So it's... Whoa, it's like... And now it's dead. Wait, it's still alive? What? How's this thing still alive? This LED clearly has a higher rating than the red LED that just died instantly. Dead. To know that this actually survived the 5 volt tester, and it did. So now I'm going to test this 120 AC voltage. Disclaimer, do not try this at home. I am what you call an amateur. And you should always be very careful when dealing with any kind of AC voltage. Any. 120 volts. Whew. So he is dead. Nothing really bad has happened to it. It actually does not look at all like it has been blown. Slightly disappointed that the 120 volts didn't like explode or something. I was really hoping for something a little bit more other than that little... That really put me in a dark place. How do we protect these devices so that we can use them at higher voltages? We have to use some form of protection.
Nope.
To protect LEDs, we use resistors. These act as a resistance to the flow of current, just like you resisting to exit this video. Now, how do you calculate the resistance value? We use a very nice and beautiful law called Ohm's law. So Ohm's law basically states that V, what's the symbol for proportional? Is proportional to I, right? Voltage is proportional to current, right? And they're related by a constant, which is the resistance. That's why you get V. You have V, I, R. So if you want to find the current, it's going to be V on R. If you want to find the resistance, it's going to be V on I. Now, when it comes to an LED, you have to change the law a little bit different. So using Ohm's law, we get R is equal to V on I, right? Right? And we had imagine we had a circuit, right, with a source, a resistor, an LED that returns, right? And let's let the resistance be R, and the LED have a voltage of 3 volts at 20 milliamps from the data sheet, right? To calculate R, you're gonna have to have V of S, right, which is the source, and let's say this is 5 volts, minus V LED over I of the LED, which is equal to 5 volts minus 3 volts over 20 milliamps. Calculator, 5 minus 3 divided by 0.02 ohms. Yeah, we need at least 100 ohm resistor to protect our LED at 5 volts. Now if the voltage goes higher, we'll obviously need more protection. So let's say Vs is equal to 12 volts. We're going to need 450 ohms. Now a good rule of thumb is if you don't have the resistor value that you calculate, you can always choose a resistor value that is above the set resistor. So if it was 100 ohms you calculated, you can choose like 120, right? But you don't want to go under, because if you go under, the current will increase and you may damage your LED. So this is the circuit I'm going to build here. This is a switch. This has a 5 volt rail here. There's a lot of online calculators where you can input the color of the bands to know the exact ohmage of each resistor. I'm going to put them into this circuit. So just to show you guys how the resistance changes the brightness of the LED. More resistance, you have less current, which the LED brightness will be decreased significantly. I have something called a pot here. This is a variable resistor. I'm going to put this in series. Now the reason why I am putting the pot and the original resistor in the same circuit is because I don't want this to reach 0 and the LED doesn't have protection, because it can cause a short and basically, you know, you ruin everything. So you always start with a base resistor here. So this is the 100 ohm, and then I have a 5k pot. Okay, get bright, and then we can go down. Okay, get bright. Go right down. LED gets dimmer. LED can get back bright by changing the resistance. That about wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that I shed enough light on this topic that you guys are now ready to move on to the next step. In the next video, I will probably be introducing you guys to an Arduino microcontroller, and now we're gonna actually replace that button that we had before and that pot with microcontroller controlled device to actually do it automatically for you guys, and then we could move on to learning about programmable LEDs. Now, I think all of those things should be done in one episode again before we hit the last episode, which will be how I build the LED mask, right? So thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more videos again. So yeah, again, I want you guys feedback as much as possible so I can make better videos. And let me know in the comment section any future ideas. So if you want to see more of these kind of videos, you can let me know by hitting that subscribe button. And if you like this video, you can let me know by hitting that like button. So, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I wish all you guys a very bright future with some LEDs. Also, big to big, what do you think about the haircut?